What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Desiree,
What's up?
and my brother Derek.
What's up?
And this week, we're going to be talking about the newly released Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the last movie in the trilogy for Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope Marvel goes back to just trilogies.
Yeah, I at the end is like Star-Lord will return, and I'm hoping that's just like in another movie.
Yeah.
And
It's rumored that it is in another movie.
Well,
good.
James Gunn is done, right?
Well,
so
yeah, but I mean
yes.
anyone could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just there doesn't need to be a fourth one of these.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will.
I think the trilogies
Honestly,
work better. We got a
I
trilogy
don't think it will be.
of Captain America, which was fine. We got
Yeah.
a trilogy of Iron
Well,
Man.
Yes.
I read someone that was saying like, will they do it again with the new Guardians? Because it's like Rocket and
Well, that's a little
whoever,
different.
Whatever. I don't want to see it at all. Still, even
I
if it is
think
with that new
they will
group.
fit in like a different movie as characters. I don't think it has to be.
I don't think you could
Guardians
call
movie.
it the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, there are some of these characters definitely you should use in different movies. Adam,
Yeah.
you should have
He's
show
gonna
up
be
in
another
some movie.
Yeah. Still
Rocket
with
seems
Rocket and
important,
Groot.
you know.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like they can be in other movies. I don't think there should be any other standalone Guardians of the Galaxy type movie,
I don't
regardless of
think
who's
there
on the
will
team.
be one.
If this makes enough money,
I still don't think it will.
I
be
don't.
one.
Think,
I
I
mean,
mean,
remember-
didn't the Captain America movies make money?
yeah. Until Thor
Yeah.
3 made enough money, they said, "Oh, let's do this again."
But Chris
I
Hemsworth
understand why
also
they
wanted
tried to
it
do
again
Thor
too, though.
4.
Yeah,
We're not going to talk about Thor 4, but yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
hoping they're not tempted to say, "Let's do this." Like, show up in whatever movie you want them to show up in. Just we don't need another one.
Look,
I don't think there will be. I really
And
deep down. Don't think
I'm
so.
not a person that is like, oh, James Gunn is the greatest director ever. I don't believe that, but I don't think the Guardians of the Galaxy's movies will work without James Gunn being the director.
Yes,
Why?
I agree with DJ.
What do you mean? Why?
I just think how he established the story and the characters. I feel like someone else stepping in is going to be.
So
off.
okay, let's preface this. Desiree doesn't like these movies. I'm pretty sure she doesn't like this one. So that we're gonna just put that out there so you guys understand as we talk about these movies and this one in particular where she's coming from. She doesn't like them.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say that is the way that these characters were portrayed and built, that was made by James Gunn, and I don't think you're going to get the same feel for a Guardians of the Galaxy movie without him being the
I
director.
don't think the feel is anything special.
We understand that.
we understand.
So
you're
for
coming from.
everyone else out there,
But
I you know what? I watched somebody doing reaction videos, and oddly enough, she was the first person that also said that she didn't like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie when she watched it. And I was like, wow, that is the first one I've seen where someone said that on a
Yeah.
reaction. She also liked Iron Man 3 the best. So I don't know if she is the greatest person to
Okay,
to
well,
go
you
off
know
there.
how I feel about Iron Man 3.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm off topic, but that's okay. She explained her reason,
Mm-hmm.
and I understood that. One, she's not a comic book person, so the whole Mandarin thing isn't even a problem. She
Okay.
doesn't know who the Mandarin is.
Okay. All
So
right.
to her, the twist was actually good
Mhm.
because she's just
Ah.
watching it as a
the
movie
Hmm.
Okay.
and not expecting the Mandarin to be any kind of
Anyone,
character.
no.
So to her, it was a really good movie, and when she broke it down, it did break down the character of Tony Stark and kind of
Yeah.
explored him personally more.
It did. It would have been a good ending for Tony,
Yeah,
but we got a better one in Endgame.
we did get a much better one in Endgame. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understood that. But okay, so everyone knows the preface that Desiree does not like any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and we will continue from there. But let's start at the beginning of this movie. We start on Rocket listening to some music, or no, we start with him as a baby raccoon in
Yeah.
the cage with the big hand grabbing towards him.
Mhm.
And this was a lot of this movie was about. Obviously, this movie was about Rocket
Yes.
and how he became to be what he is, exploring that, which actually that story I did find interesting.
Yeah.
Y'all don't think The story itself is fine. I don't have an issue with it. Or I know how y'all looked at me like,
Okay.
what she about to say.
I'm going to look at you with everything, but go ahead.
That, like, I felt like they were doing 2 movies in one. Wouldn't it have been better if the higher evolutionary, whatever his name is, in that rocket story was his
the
own
main story?
Was
his own movie?
Was his own movie or his own main story? Because we kept going back and forth and back and forth, which in actuality we didn't really need that rocket story in here. And it's fine that they gave it to us, but I would like to have known more about the higher evolutionary.
Okay.
And to me, in this
That's a good
movie, he was just not enough.
Yeah.
For it to be the main villain, and then for really a main villain that's everyone kept saying you can't fight him, he's too powerful. But then we didn't really see that. We only seen it once when he killed his own people. But when he was fighting the actual Guardians, we didn't see anything that made him to be.
Yeah.
They actually fought him pretty easily, to be honest.
But
so
I took it as a premise of ego and cockiness. That is just like, I'm going to get what I want and I don't have to try.
Okay, but then why was everyone so afraid of him?
But
because
I
that's
think
the thing.
he made himself that way.
He made himself
like
that
everyone's
way.
afraid of him because of how he made himself seem.
I would have liked to have seen. Show me why.
Okay.
And I think there's enough story in here for that to been its own.
You're
movie.
saying if we cut out the backstory of Rocket?
Yes.
I get where you're coming from, but I wouldn't want to miss that backstory either.
Well, they could have given it to us. They could have gave us to us somewhere between movie 2 and 3. It's been.
It
like
wasn't. Is it? I mean, it's an interesting backstory, but is it enough for a whole movie?
I don't think it's enough for a whole movie.
If we explore not just Rocket, but also the higher evolutionary, right?
Oh,
they
so
said,
do both of that in
exactly.
the same
They
movie.
said that
both of them.
This guy has created civilizations, right? He created the gold people.
Oh, and it could have ended with Rocket's escape.
Exactly,
that would have been
right?
your third act because that was a triumph for the hero, right? In the third act. Okay. I see where you're coming from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like, to me, just as the main villain, he was pretty lackluster to me.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't get enough out of him.
So you're saying this would have worked better as an Infinity War Endgame type of deal. Like, you have that movie with Rocket and High Evolutionary, which leads into this movie with the Guardians needing to save Rocket.
I didn't mind us getting that backstory, but it's not really, we didn't need it in this movie. Like, if they take out all the backstory stuff.
It's still fine because all the Guardians obviously love Rocket and they're trying to save him.
Like, the backstory doesn't show you why they love him so much.
Yeah.
It just shows you how Rocket becomes Rocket.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yes, the movie could have been made without the backstory. I get you. But I'm glad I saw the backstory.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're not wrong. It could have been 2 movies. Maybe 2 1.5-hour movies.
I mean, because this movie is too long.
I didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it.
It didn't feel too long to me.
It's
It's 2.5 hours. It's a long movie.
20 to 30 minutes too long to me.
Okay. All
I
right.
didn't feel like it was that long.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we get more of the music. We had a discussion before the podcast of how obviously we didn't listen to any 90s rock since we recognize all the music before in the last 2 movies, and not this one. I was
Didn't
like,
know
wow,
a single song.
yeah.
Also, I didn't enjoy them either.
It wasn't as
I didn't
enjoyable
like Reasons.
to me. Oh well, yeah.
Well, I mean, come on.
Reasons. Come on.
Yeah.
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 No, yeah. I was thinking that when I watched it. I was like, because the other 2 movies, I was like, oh yeah, that's a bop, right? You know. And then this one, not so much for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just taste in music, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Okay, so yeah, we start with Rocket in, like, we kind of immediately we see Peter Quill being drunk and stuff. This continues after the Christmas special, which I didn't watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Was
know
that
that
something
either.
we were supposed to have watched? Because I have some questions about some characters.
I don't think it was a necessary. Like,
Yeah,
I followed the movie well enough without
Is
seeing it.
Peter drunk in the Christmas special?
Well, he's drunk because of Gamora, which is okay, understandable. We left that
Yeah,
off
I
in the
understand
last
that.
one.
But then they kind of, it's like, oh, he was drunk, and then you kind of just let that go, and I guess he's not an alcoholic anymore.
Well, I think he
Just
had a
never
reason
comes
to
up
sober
again.
up, to be honest.
Yeah, he had a reason.
But Gamora still love him.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't see what happened after. Well, I don't know. After, okay, you had a reason to sober up because you got to save your friend, right?
Yeah.
So he probably not jumping back into the alcohol immediately. He has an immediate thing that he has to take care of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, after this experience,
Yeah.
does he go right back to it?
I don't know. It just kind of got left hanging out there to me.
I didn't think so because I felt like he got the closure he needed.
Also, he might have with Gamora because he was able
Yeah.
to spend time with the Gamora that we have here.
Right.
I want to talk about that character too.
I don't want to talk about Peter and Gamora. Can we talk about Peter and Gamora?
You want to talk about Peter and let's talk about Peter and Gamora. All
okay,
right.
I have part of it on my nitpicks. So, Peter, this Gamora is not your Gamora. Your Gamora is super duper dead. Right?
He's definitely dead.
She's dead.
I want to say, before you continue on that, I want to say I'm glad they did Gamora the way they did
Yes.
because I feel like if they were able to just jump back into a relationship, it just undoes everything.
Completely. I'm
Yeah,
glad they
she's
did.
a totally different person now.
Yeah.
Did
like,
it the
this
way
is
they
not the same
did.
person.
I'm glad that at the end of the day, she still left. I
Yeah.
was hoping that she still left, and she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So I'm like, thank you for not falling into that trope.
Yes.
Peter, this is not your Gamora. The same way you got the first Gamora to fall in love with you, you can get this Gamora. Instead of telling her who she's not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just be normal and maybe she will like you. You could do
Yeah.
a whole 51st dates kind of thing.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
but see,
not
this the
though,
thing
because this
was-
Gamora hasn't gone through.
Which, that's true, but you won't know. Think about how mad you would be if you keep saying, me and your other self, we
Yeah.
did this and this
yeah,
and this together.
it's a bad look. You're right.
Just,
Yeah.
like, dude, like, if you want her
Yeah.
to like you, have her get to know you. How did Gamora hated you the first time she met you,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And that was the softer Gamora. This one's the rough Gamora.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to really be normal sauce. And it's just the way you were going about it is not like you're only gonna make her angrier and angrier, telling her about her future self.
Right.
That's not her.
I mean, like, that does make the most logical sense. Although I think Peter's actions fits Peter's character.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's
so
who he is.
stupid.
That's who he is, and that's how he would react.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He would have a better chance of just being a normal person trying to talk to her. But I don't think she wants to talk to him anyway.
No. Which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you won't know until you try it.
Yeah. Well, with this and it's hard to say because losing people is hard, but like, bro, you gotta move on. You know, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you got, like you said, that Gamora is dead. She's dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there is a Gamora, she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I do like this one because I feel like this one is more in line with what her character was supposed to be in the comic book.
mhm.
Yeah.
A lot more ruthless and angry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like when I read up on her character, I'm like, oh, that seems really interesting. But that's not who we got in the first two movies.
True.
So I like this one a lot better.
So, yeah. So we get Adam really early on in the movie. I didn't
Yep.
expect. It was like the
First
first thing
scene.
that happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He attacks the Guardians, which apparently he's doing to collect Rocket,
Mhm.
which I guess he was doing a bad job since he almost killed Rocket.
Yeah, what would have been the point of that? Like, you're supposed to pick this thing up and then you nearly kill him.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Dr. Octopus throwing a car at Peter
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
second movie. It's just like, you're supposed to kidnap him, not murder him.
Yeah.
And you didn't know Peter was Spider-Man. So,
Right.
yeah. Same thing here. But in this, Adam's not, not the brightest.
Right. Because they didn't allow him to evolve fully. So they let him out too early. So he has a mind of a child.
Okay, so who was Adam Warlock?
He's actually part of the Guardians in the
Is he?
comics. He was
Yes.
on, I think he was on that episode of Earth Mightiest Heroes in the Guardians.
I didn't see that episode.
You didn't see that? Yeah.
Okay.
He's really strong.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I got that he was really strong. I just felt like
They
he
had
kept...
to play him down because honestly, no one would
No
be
one
able
could
to
fight
beat him.
him.
See, that's the impression I got.
Even the high
because
evolutionary would have a
he
problem
kept
with him.
showing up and then disappearing, and Marvel has a habit of doing that for characters that are too strong.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have a story.
And but then to me, then it makes them unnecessary.
Well, I think they ran into kind of a problem, right? Because you have the Guardians and everybody's like, where's Adam Warlock?
Because
right?
they introduced him in the first one?
Second one.
Second.
In credit scene of the second one, she was making, Aisha was making something, and she said, I'll call him Adam. Also, I found out that the Sovereign was completely made up for the movies.
Who's the Sovereign?
The Gold people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So they were completely made up for the movies. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Adam was interesting. I'm not mad at it.
I wasn't mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. It's definitely not Adam Warlock from the comics, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So comic fans might end up being angry at that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I took it as like he's OP, and it's like the only way is like to make him this way, to have the character in there.
Yeah.
It didn't just not have him in there.
But I mean, for the fandom, he's part of the gallery.
It's kind of like coming out with a Fantastic Four movie, but we don't do Reed Richards.
Well, I mean, come on, you can't do that. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is Adam Warlock super known on the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Is the Guardians of the Galaxy super known? Like, yes, he is, but it's a team of people who like aren't really
popular in the comic books. Yeah. Honestly, only Star-Lord and Adam Warlock is what people knew before the movies came out.
I didn't even know that.
I was like, I didn't know none of that. I was going to ask you guys if
when the movie came out, I was like, oh wait, that's that team that I saw on that episode. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Because when I saw that episode, I was like, who are these people? And I think Adam Warlock was on it because he like forgot who he was or something. But you know, he's super powerful, so that's dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get him in the first scene. He injures
everybody,
and almost kill Rocket. So they try to revive Rocket, but then realize that there is a kill switch that doesn't allow you to revive him. So they had to figure out how to disarm the kill switch to save him.
Yeah, and so that's the premise of the entire movie from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
Humor in this movie, I think, is hit and miss.
Yeah, some parts I laughed out loud, some parts I didn't.
Not as bad as Ant-Man.
No, not as bad as Ant-Man at all.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was as bad as Ant-Man. Some things are kind of eye-rolly, but again, Ant-Man, nothing compares to the death of MODOK in Ant-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was just bad.
Yeah.
You know what though? In this movie, I'm kind of, and I mean, I know it's like the end of it, but like Drax being dumb, it's not funny.
Overdone a bit, yeah.
Just it's so I didn't particularly find the movie funny.
But then I think they touched on that at the end, like, okay, he's not dumb. You know?
I just felt like, okay, we get it. Like it's just, I was over it.
Yeah.
I mean, there still was some funny parts. Though.
I did not laugh out loud.
Well, we understand that, okay? But that's with every movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I mean, it's not like how in Ant-Man where I'm just like, that wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Just here, I just didn't laugh. I mean, I didn't really.
You don't laugh often.
I'm not surprised because most things that we find funny, you don't find funny. So.
Fine.
I did leave the theater. Was like, yeah, Desiree's not gonna like the movie.
Yeah, the whole thing with the nuts, that was funny.
Well,
he was like, when he was like, "I'm sorry, they're all gone."
Oh, with the Zarg nuts,
and then
he's like, "Can I have a Zarg nut?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, there are no more Zarg nuts." And then he eats one. Yeah, but Tony Stark did the same thing in Iron Man 1.
In which scene?
What did Obadiah ask him for a burger and he said there wasn't none, and then the next thing he's grabbing a burger out of the bag.
I wouldn't have laughed at that.
No.
And I didn't laugh at this one.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
I think they did explore the characters a bit more.
I did too.
Movie.
Yeah.
Flesh them out.
Gave everyone growth.
I do like Nebula less as a less aggressive character. I think she's better as an aggressive character. With her being a bit soft and it's not
just moody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
she's an aggressive character in the comic book.
Do you ever think like everyone was just yelling in this movie?
Yeah, because they're like siblings that.
Not like arguing. I just feel like every conversation was a yell.
I did not pick on that, but
No.
maybe. I don't know.
I think so. I think they were-
Okay.
Okay. I mean, Dave Bautista pretty much just yells, so.
Yeah.
I just feel like everyone was just yelling.
Okay. Oh, come on. The scene on, what was the company name? I forgot the name of the company.
Mhm.
Something Corp.
Yeah. With Peter trying to like woo the girl, like that
Yeah.
wasn't funny.
No. I mean,
No?
I like the scene because Gamora just like came in, but no, I didn't find it funny.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, I thought that was funny too.
All right then.
I'm sorry, I didn't think the movie was funny at all.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. None of it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So basically, yeah, the whole movie is them trying. First, they try to get the override for
Yes.
the kill switch at the company,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
which kind of goes south. Well, they get the file, but it had been erased.
It had been
Right.
erased by the. Did he have a name? The
No,
guy
one
with
of the
thing
scientists.
on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they so they have to go directly to the High Evolutionary.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get.
But they had to get off the planet, and they couldn't go back out of space because they put their suits
Oh.
in the.
Well, that wasn't a big deal. They flew their spaceship into it, so you
Yeah.
know, it's fine. No big deal there. All right, so are we going to talk about Counter Earth then? Because that's where they go next, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the what the. Because the higher evolutionary, his whole point is making like the perfect society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he took animals and evolved them to be like humans.
Or something. And
Yeah.
put them on fake Earth.
So that was explained in the Rocket story, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so he was experimenting because he's trying to make the perfect race. For some reason, he has no reason
He
to
has
have
no
this as
reason.
an obsession, but he
See?
does.
And I even Googled his character,
Mhm.
and that's what his character
That's
is.
what he is. I mean,
He
people
just
have
makes
obsessions.
different societies of people and worlds
Mhm.
just because he's searching for the perfect species.
Okay. I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's doing illegal experiments on animals, which leads us to Rocket, where they pretty much torture him. Like apparently first you made him more intelligent, which apparently Rocket already had something, but
Mm-hmm.
you made him more intelligent and then you modified him. So I'm like, while you're modifying him, he can understand what's going on. That seems even more cruel, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I guess that brings up a point on like why he wants Rocket back. Because Rocket was the only one who like, okay, so not only did you make him more intelligent, but it's like Rocket was a free thinker, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like everyone knows Rocket's a good inventor, so he's a free thinker. So he was able to solve one of the higher evolutionary's problems.
Right, by making because his problem was
Yeah.
he was evolving things and they were aggressive, and
Yeah.
Rocket solved that.
Yeah, so now he wants to know like why are you in particular different than all the other ones I did? Because all the other ones, when he gets to I guess the next stage, is basically they're just
Mindless.
repeating what I learned, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like they know how to do it because we told them how to do it. They're not thinking about how to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Or even on this Counter Earth, he had these perfect things that were supposedly non-violent, but then as the things got on, then you end up just like Earth is here,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
got people doing drug deals, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting, was shown in this movie.
Yeah.
I guess if we don't know what the drugs are, it's fine. But you got people getting drug deals,
Getting
people
robbed.
getting robbed and
Homeless
stuff.
people, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just like your perfect society ends up just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the thing is he wants Rocket back to find out why Rocket is different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I still don't think that would solve his
No,
problem.
Rocket
No, it
could
would
just
not.
be different.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every animal,
But
just like
isn't
every
that always
human,
the issue
different.
though?
Yeah.
It's just like villains try to like, okay, what makes this different from everything else? But it's just like
Someone
could
brought
just
something.
be intelligence.
Someone brought something up about Thanos, right? Because he was dead set on destroying half the universe to solve it, and we've all brought up many
Mhm.
ways you could do that without killing half of people.
Mhm.
But they were like was he was saying that because his planet had suffered and like they starved to death or whatever and went extinct, right? And he was like it's because they were using too much of the resources. But I think this might have been film theory. But they pointed out when they fought Thanos in Infinity War, when he got to the planet, he said the planet was tilted off its axis and all this. That doesn't happen because a species starves. So they probably were going extinct because the planet
was tilted.
Was tilted off its axis and stuff like was going wrong with it. So even so Thanos is dead set on this thing, which wouldn't have even been the solution. And I think it's the same thing with the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
He's like Rocket. Obviously I can use him to create the perfect species. And at the end of the day, he probably would end up with the same thing. Even though they're free thinkers, you're gonna end up with the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Even his non-free thinker ones, right? Think about it. If they're not free thinkers, how do they still end up homeless? How do they still end up being poor or whatever? How does it still be? It's just like you're not going to create the perfect society. No, it's not a thing that happens.
Yeah. So, but he had that. Rocket had his little group of friends that had also been modified. Some nightmare fuel there, especially with that bunny. I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's creepy.
I was like, that's creepy. Please stop talking. And I thought this was a really good scene with Rocket. So when he comes in, Rocket realizes that they're not going to escape and he's going to kill them all. So Rocket is going to help all the animals get out. And then High Evolutionary comes in and ends up killing all of Rocket's friends. I thought that was a really good scene.
It was.
And High Evolutionary's face gets really messed up because don't mess with raccoons.
I mean, seriously, don't mess with raccoons.
Don't mess with raccoons. It's not a good idea. No. You do not want to get scratched up by them. Yeah. So we have that. Okay, so now the group's on Counter Earth.
They're on Counter Earth. Peter and Groot goes to get the recorder thingy from one of the evolutionary goons.
All right. I know we're not nitpicks, but I have to point this out. One thing, Guardians, can we communicate a plan with each other before?
You would think, I mean, y'all like 10 years in, right? And still no one knows the whole plan?
But I feel like Peter didn't come up with the plan until he was there. Which is why everybody else didn't know.
Why are we still doing this 10 years in?
Because Peter is, though he can come up with good plans, he's still an idiot.
Yes.
Still?
Yes.
Yes.
He's still an idiot.
At some point, we get smarter in life, right?
Nope.
No.
Just the whole thing. I'm like, that whole situation made me angry. Peter doesn't tell Nebula what's happening. They go onto the ship. Then Drax, who's supposed to stay with the ship, then decides, I'm not going to do that. Like, why are we still making these dumb decisions?
Yeah.
So no one stayed with Rocket. So
and then
now Adam comes to take Rocket.
Yeah, and why would you leave your sick friend alone on the ship?
Right, with Gamora, who is no longer your friend.
Gamora, who's not on the team.
Yeah.
Who's only, think about it, she stayed on the ship because she's just trying to get home.
Right, because she already sent the Ravagers her location to come.
Right, she's just trying to get home. So why would you leave your dying friend with this person?
Right. Yeah. And you know, honestly, for Drax, that does kind of seem out of character. Like, he will do rash things.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would do something that's going to put, like, Rocket in danger.
There was no reason to.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, that was a bit.
Yeah. So they get the recorder and jump off the ship. And now they're off the ship.
But the other team jumped
now,
on the ship.
But the other team jumped on the ship to save them.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Yeah.
And you have comms.
You do.
But no, they weren't working.
They weren't working? Okay.
I thought it wasn't working.
Maybe it wasn't working. I don't know.
I don't know.
With Star-Lord and Groot, they couldn't
no, that was after they were already in space, right?
No, because that's when they started talking to each other.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm going to say they weren't working.
Also, Peter, I don't know if did you know Groot can, like, make wood wings? Or a wood parachute?
At this point, Groot can do everything.
Yeah. I don't know, Peter. Seemed like it, because I was like, you're jumping out. And I'm like, what was the plan?
But I looked at it as, don't every hero do that?
Just jump out of a window?
Just jump out a window?
Well, I was thinking he was going to put on his little face masky thing. What happened to that
I
thing?
thought,
he hasn't used it in this movie, did he?
No.
No.
Huh. Oh, did it get broken?
And what, in a game? He couldn't build a new one after 5 years?
No, yeah, I don't think it got broken either. So never mind.
Well, yeah, I thought he was gonna have that in like a little rocket pack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he used in that game.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
because he
nope.
does. He has the rocket pack.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it would slow your descent enough for you not to die. I'm not sure.
Well, it didn't matter. He just killed the recorder.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So we get that, and so now we're in Act 3, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now they're trying. So now they got to save their team
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the ship.
We would have been done if. See, that's the thing. We would have been done
Yes.
if they had communicated with each other
Yeah. So now they have to get back onto the ship.
in order to save Drax, Nebula, and Mantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mantis had a good point in the argument that they had
Yes.
with Nebula.
Yeah.
You know, just pointing out like, okay, you're always like complaining about these things, and it's like everybody contributes to the team. I think they did make a point to show how every part of the team does contribute to the team.
Yes.
But was that ever a question?
No,
No, it wasn't, but it shows character growth.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could have questioned Mantis, like, okay, she doesn't seem like that strong of a character, but they actually had her fight in this, which I thought was.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, over time she can learn how to fight. But I thought in the second one you showed she has the mind control powers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does.
that's what she does, and apparently it works really well in the fight,
Yeah.
and it does. So we had that. I did think, because I'm gonna skip a lot of this. We had the kids or whatever,
Mhm.
which gives them something to save at the end of the movie. Yes, we didn't ask Drask if he knew the language.
But
I
why
don't know if I
would
would
you?
have asked anybody if
Well,
they knew the
no,
language.
because first of all, if someone's speaking Spanish, we're all looking like, I
I don't know
know a
what they're
thing.
saying. If you speak Spanish, you
You
can
would
say
say
yes.
something. I
You
understand
would
what
say
you-
something.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like you didn't ask. Why would I ask you this?
Yeah,
Right. You could have just said.
You could have just said, I understand what they're
I understand
saying.
what they're saying.
this is true.
Yeah, so you're making it seem like she was being mean, but she's like, everyone's like, I don't understand what these kids are saying. They only know 3 words, and 2 of them are jip jip.
Yeah.
And then, Drax is like, you didn't ask. The entire time we've been around these kids, you didn't say a single thing.
And you didn't talk to him. Yeah, I'm gonna put that one on Drax too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a Nebula being mean thing.
Also, Mantis, man, you could just make people forget. I don't know how I like it. I like that. You
I
can
think
just
that's
do
kinda-
whatever and then just be like,
You
I
know
mean,
what's
yeah, if
messed
I
up?
have the power.
Because, yeah, he's like, you think I'm dumb. And then she was just like, forget that.
Yeah,
And then it made me think, like, how many times have you done that to him?
probably a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough.
I
In the
mean-
second movie, he kind of did roast her
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
That is true. He did. And that also got old quick.
It did get old.
So
I
it
am
seems to me
Throwing
like
up in my mouth just thinking
It's like,
about
I'm
it.
imagining.
Mantis
being
got on
between-
Nebula for doubting Drax, but it's clearly you do the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
Yep.
Well, because Drax makes a lot of dumb mistakes. Let's be real.
He does.
Okay.
But it did show he helped them with saving the kids.
Yeah.
Well, of course, he helps them all the time. That doesn't make him less dumb.
Yeah. So we have that. They did eventually get back onto the ship by. It was interesting. So they're flying nowhere now. So they turned that into a ship.
How exactly is that
Who
planet
put-
a ship now?
It's not a planet. It's a celestial head.
It's a celestial head.
What?
Nowhere.
Nowhere is a
The
celestial
celestials decapitated.
head.
Was it nowhere in Infinity War?
Yes,
Yeah.
Nowhere has been there since Guardians
It's
of
one.
the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
And they went to nowhere and they fought Thanos, right? Is that where the
Yes.
little bubbles show up?
Yeah.
Yes.
That has always been a face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since Guardians 1.
I don't remember that at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Watch
The severed head of a celestial.
Watch
They actually said
Infinity
it.
War
They
again.
did?
Yeah.
Watch Infinity War again.
And
When
it
they
looks like
go
a
to the
face.
planet and they show you the outside of the planet, it's a face.
Oh, I'm thinking like, man, what? Because I'm like, I'm like, oh, nowhere is like a spaceship now. I was just like, what the heck is
No,
happening?
it's a dead celestial's head.
Okay.
Yeah. Which people used to mine for material. And
Yeah.
I guess in the Christmas special, the Guardians made it their base. So that's what we missed.
Okay.
Is that they made it their base. I don't think it was that Warden, they said the base of the Guardians, so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, they moved to nowhere.
And
So-
in the comic books, nowhere is the Guardians of the Galaxy base. And also in the comic books, it is ahead of a Celestial.
I mean, look, I'm sure. I mean, that's just too dumb to be made up for this movie. So that's fine. Where did that dog come from?
Oh, Cosmo. He's
Cosmo.
from the comic.
He's
It
in
was
the comic
also
book,
in the
too.
first Guardians movie.
The dog was in a.
Yes.
It didn't have they showed it like it was cameo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now it's on the team.
Well, it was on nowhere, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that dog is a real character.
yes, and it has telekinetic
And it
powers.
has telekinetic powers. So they took in real life when the Soviets sent a dog out of space.
Yes.
This is that dog.
I mean, they said that, and I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a raccoon as come on, we get to
I
accept
know,
it.
but the dog seemed more ridiculous.
It did.
It did.
But yeah, it is a real character. It was not made for the movie.
Okay.
And they also showed Howard the Duck again.
Well, the Howard's in all the
Yeah.
Guardians movies,
That's
and in Infinity War apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay. Fine.
Let the dog go.
Whatever. I'm just like, where did the stupid dog come from?
Yes.
But yeah, it was also in the first Guardians movie, so it's not like something out of the blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
It
like,
was a post-credit scene for the first Guardians movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the movie and it was in a post-credit scene.
Both. Yeah.
okay. Clearly, I don't remember this movie.
You don't.
You do not.
You do not.
Okay.
All right. So, they put some boosters on the back of nowhere, and so they're flying it as a ship now.
Yes.
Fair enough. So that's how they're going to save the kids. What I thought was interesting, and I appreciated this about the High Evolutionary and his followers, because usually in these movies, you have this villain that's just I'm going to kill my subordinates and blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, and going crazy because they're obsessed with something they shouldn't be.
Right.
Mhm.
And usually the subordinates just continue to follow until they die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I appreciate that in this, they were like, you know what? No,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Because they was like, we need to leave. The ship is blowing up. We need to leave or we going to die. And it was like, your pursuit of this one animal is going to be the death of all of us.
I think they said the same thing that you said, Desiree. I don't know why Rocket is so important.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did say that.
Yeah, I agree. I did like the fact that they all stood up, but to me, I was just thinking, just shoot them.
Yeah, that's true. They
Yeah.
could've
Like,
shot
like
him.
there's just too much hesitation.
Yeah, they
But see,
waited.
then that brings me back to the pack. Like, okay, so then he just kills them all,
Mhm.
Yes.
and I was like, oh, okay, there is some sort of power or something associated with this guy.
Yes.
But that's the one and only time we've seen that.
True.
So I'm just like,
But don't I do that
Well,
with most villains, though?
Well, like
yeah, but I mean,
Iago in the second movie.
Ego.
Ego.
Iago's from Aladdin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. From
I was
Aladdin.
wondering if he was
I was
bringing up
like,
an Aladdin reference, and I'm trying
Iago got to do with anything.
You're right. That is Aladdin.
to ego.
Ego. I mean, come on. They couldn't defeat him really either.
Well, to me, it
He's
takes
a living planet.
it
They
takes
put a
too
bomb on
much
his brain.
away from the villain because you're. I mean, it's just like the Thor movie, right? You're telling me how powerful that guy is,
Gore.
but we
Gore.
never see it in action.
True.
Yeah.
And then when you do
And he
fight
kills
him,
all the other gods off scene.
yeah. And then when you do fight him, it's just like, are you sure he's super powerful?
I do agree that I think the fight between the Guardians and the High Evolutionary was way too easy.
The
Yeah, it
whole
was.
thing was too easy.
It was too easy for them.
Yeah.
It should have been. We should have taken out some of the scenes saving the children off of the ship
Mhm.
and made a longer, more intense fight between them. And
It should have been a struggle. But
Yeah.
then, I mean, I really think the entire Guardians of the Galaxy, even when the first one was like Ronan, is he supposed to be super powerful?
Yeah.
But they did
Yes.
use an
He
Infinity
is.
Stone, which was fair enough, I guess. But I did, even watching that one, I
Even
felt like it was
before-
yeah.
Yeah, even before I didn't get the sense like this guy can't be beat. If you're gonna keep throwing at characters at me that's supposed to be super powerful and stuff, then I want to see the hero struggle.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we didn't get it.
True.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you really think about it, Rocket beat that guy up like 15 years ago.
He did. Now that was
Yeah.
before,
But
because
that's before
apparently
he
he
got his
gave
powers.
himself powers because Rocket beat him up.
Because Rocket beat him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
they mentioned that.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did mention that.
Which I think his powers came from
The suit.
the suit. It was
Yeah.
technology, not.
But still, I mean, we
Yeah.
only seen it once.
I mean, to be honest, then it would have made more sense on the reason on why Adam Warlock were introduced, because Warlock would have been in the equal to
Then
fighting him.
show us that.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
That
But yeah,
goes-
that's what I'm saying.
And we should have had that, and then
Yeah,
Adam
like,
Warlock
you
comes
think,
in.
You
Yeah.
think it's over because he overpowered the original Guardians, and then Warlock comes in.
And you could have even had it come in where he comes in and weakens him, and then we have that Guardians team up.
Yeah.
You know,
Because in this, Adam Warlock literally just flies through the screen, and then you don't see him again for another 15, 20 minutes or
Yeah.
Yeah.
something. Just
Now,
ridiculous.
I
Yeah, because
thought-
I really thought he was going to be in that last fight.
I thought the change with Adam was going to come. I don't know why they did it the way they did. I thought once Aisha died, and she died because of the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be Adam's change over. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm fighting the High Evolutionary now. He killed my mom,
yeah.
right? That would have made sense to me. But they had his change at the end of the movie because Groot saved him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I thought the change was going to happen earlier. It would have made more sense.
Yeah.
And then, it's just at the end when it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, oh, why did you save me? I'm like, yeah, that should have happened earlier when you realize, like, this guy has no cares,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he flew into their ship, I was surprised that he was still fighting
Like,
them to
why are
get
you still
Rock.
trying to
Rocket.
complete the mission? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why? Yeah, I don't know. So I feel like that, because it wouldn't change the movie much either.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, I think that would have been a compelling enough reason for Adam to go against the High Evolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like we said, if we make him a bit stronger and then Adam weakens him, we
Yeah.
could have still had that where that the team up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that was really good. The Guardians teamed up, and then, I mean, Gamora gets the finishing blow, which was surprising.
Yeah.
But, like, that would have been, I
Yeah,
think,
that would
good.
have worked. Yeah.
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 I do like the classic Daredevil hallway scene.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I did like that scene
I like that scene.
where, they came out on the hallway.
Yeah.
Again, everybody working well. I mean, that's like the Avengers scene where, like, you kind of pan
Yeah.
and you see all the heroes
Everyone
working.
doing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that Marvel keeps that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
if you
keep
keep doing it well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing you keep. So they defeat him. We see that he's been wearing a mask because Rocket actually tore his face
Tore
up.
his face up.
yes.
And then they are all trying to escape. Now, I also have a problem with it. I'm going through nitpicks. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I didn't have a ton.
Peter, why'd you go back to save the Zune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did he? So they get everybody onto nowhere, but like the High Evolutionary ship is blowing up, right? And Peter goes to grab the Zune. Now his mother's Walkman, I completely understood,
Yeah.
right? Even though you could let that go too, there was more of an emotional connection to that. Fine.
Yeah.
Why'd you go get the Zune?
Yeah.
It wasn't worth dying over.
Yeah.
You could go visit Earth and get a
Zune?
better. I mean, don't get a Zune. Just go get an MP3 player.
Well, I was just like, you had to have these songs stored somewhere else. You could literally put it on any other device.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I think they did that to kind of make it dramatic because now Peter needs saving again.
Yeah.
So, all right. And here, I guess
he dies,
One
dude.
of my nitpicks. Well, he's still part celestial, so
Is we can just keep
whatever.
banking on that on why he keeps not dying?
yeah. Apparently, that's the reason why, because he should be dead. Because it was too long. Like if you had it
Yes.
for a couple of seconds, it would have been
Yeah,
fine.
his face was starting to explode.
But yeah.
You do not survive that.
Also, he's done it before, and his face didn't bloat, so I don't know why they did it this time.
Yeah.
It's a fake human thing they were actually about to kill this man.
I didn't believe that, and the reason why I didn't believe it because it would have been a very unsatisfying death because he would have died because he saved his Zune,
Yeah.
right? And it like unlike Yondu, right? Yondu had a satisfying death.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been just like I
I
know
would
you
have been
didn't
mad.
kill Peter Quill because of this, you know.
I
Yeah.
would have been
Mhm.
mad. Yeah. I would-
Somebody in my theater literally was like, "What?"
But you know what? I think maybe they had it just so Adam can save him.
No, there's where my nitpick is. There were parts of this movie that was just predictable. I didn't mind it, but it was just plain predictable. When Peter was out there and they hung on it for a really long time, but I'm like, Adam's gonna save him.
Because he's the
I'm
only
like,
one
you had
that
everybody
can.
else trying to save him and stuff,
Yeah.
and they couldn't. And I'm like,
Because he's
Adam's
the
gonna
only
save
one
him.
they can.
Yeah.
It was obvious. And then
Yeah.
you tried to do the whole creation of man joke.
Yes. Okay. So y'all picked up on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't see it with the little.
Oh,
With the finger,
with
yeah.
the finger,
Yeah, with the finger. Yeah.
Yeah. The was it Michelangelo?
Leonardo da Vinci.
I don't know. One of those artists.
We're not gonna say
A Ninja Turtle. It's one of the Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, that was
Yeah.
worse than us not knowing.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, we know they're all named after artists. That's sad. I'm like, they're so uncultured. My God.
It's one of them, but now I can't think
The
of it. It's
creation of
Leonardo
man.
da Vinci, isn't it?
No. I'm pretty sure it's not.
You think it's Michelangelo?
I think it's Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Boom!
Okay.
1511.
I am cultured.
All right. Okay.
Alrighty. So yeah, the creation of man
Mhm.
joke. I don't. That was unnecessary.
Right.
That's one of those ones where it's like an eye roll, but again, it's not on the same level as the MODOK death, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a short kind of okay, whatever. But
Mhm.
you know, it doesn't take away from the movie, so I don't
It
care.
doesn't.
So I'm like, yeah, obviously Adam's going to save him. And there were a couple other scenes where I'm like, I forget them now, but like watching the movie, I'm like, okay, I know where you're going to go to solve this issue. And then they did.
Yeah.
So not a lot of surprises in there. The only time I actually got tricked by them was when Rocket was dying. The whole time I'm like, obviously they're not gonna kill Rocket, right? And stuff.
Right.
But then they did linger on that a bit too long, and I started thinking like,
Oh yeah.
wait,
when he
is
said,
Rocket
"Can
going
I
to
go
die?
with you?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you know what I was thinking? I was thinking they should let him die. Like that'd have been perfect, right? The entire
would, yeah.
movie is about your friends trying to save you. They did everything that they could do, and they still couldn't do it. I think that would have been a satisfying.
That would
ending.
have, you know what? That would have made this movie like
Man.
that would have hit a lot more emotionally. I
would've-
think
Well, like you
watching
said,
this
like
movie.
right, you said y'all both said y'all enjoy getting his backstory. So
Yeah.
you got that, you know, all about him, how he came to be. You see how much his friends care for him, right? I mean, they do all of these things to save him, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that would have hit hard. And it started too. I was like,
Yeah,
you're
I think.
not killing Rocket, right?
But see, I think
Like,
that goes what they say, like Marvel movies have no stakes. This
Yeah.
would have been a perfect time to actually have a stake.
and he's already been through Infinity War and Endgame and stuff, so it's not like we have to have Rocket in a future
True.
team up movie or anything, you know.
Exactly. Like, because we don't have to have the Guardians of the Galaxy again.
Not anymore.
I don't think it will be.
Well, in any
I'm holding
form. What
on
I'm
to that.
saying, in any form. Like,
Yeah,
they
I don't
don't
think-
have to show up in any other movie. They don't either. So if you would have ended Rocket's story right here and now,
Yeah.
it would have been perfect.
Actually, yeah, the end of the trilogy, it would have worked. It would have worked.
But they didn't do that because they will
Well,
never.
you know, no stakes with Marvel. It's fine.
Yeah, because you don't kill the heroes.
Yeah,
know
kill
that.
Tony Stark.
You killed Tony Stark.
Mhm.
And that's because
You
RDJ
killed
was getting
Gamora.
expensive.
Yeah.
They killed a lot of people in Infinity War.
Yeah.
We're like,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Black Widow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like that was one part I was like, oh man, they really gonna do this, and then they didn't.
They didn't, yeah. So I think they need to kind of step away from that a little bit, but yeah. But they all make it to the ship. They all survive. Once he's on the ship, I'm like, why are you all hugging him? You have med packs. Use the med pack on him.
Right. Like, how you gonna unexplode this man's face?
Like, everybody's like, oh my God. I'm like, first med pack, then hug. Med pack, then hug. What's wrong with you? Like, goodness great. Like, he was just in space. His veins are exploded. I mean, I need
Yeah.
you to do something before he goes brain dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I do like the actor as Warlock though.
I do.
From Weed and Millers.
Oh, he wasn't that.
Yeah,
He wasn't
that's where
that.
he's from. Yeah,
I was trying to like, man, where have I seen
He
him?
was in
from?
something else though.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
yeah, he's
and
been in a
it's
bunch of
just
stuff,
like,
but that's where I know him from.
He is a
Okay.
comedic actor.
okay.
Oh my God. I think he played it well.
I think he did.
Okay. And that's the end of the movie. So basically, I think they did end with the Guardians ending. Like they continue with Rocket being the
Mhm.
leader,
The leader.
but you end it because Peter's gone, and that's your main character, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Gamora's gone. 'Cause
Gamora's
she's with the
gone.
Ravagers. Mantis is gone.
Mantis is gone,
And Drax is gone.
And Drax. Yeah.
so yeah, you don't have the Guardians anymore.
Yeah. Who's that girl? The little girl.
All right, so
The Jib Jib.
Yeah. Don't call her.
she is only because I watch New Rock Stars. Zara L, something like that.
Okay.
The clone daughter of Marvel, the Kree.
Okay.
Now, obviously, in this, she's not, but that is where her character is.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Alright.
she's obviously not Kree in this.
Okay. But
So-
then you think that's who she's supposed to be.
I think they named her in credits,
Yeah.
so that is who she is.
Okay.
Okay.
Which I think she does actually eventually be on the Guardians.
That-
So
When I looked under the cast name, when I was looking up for Guardians and like the different characters and where they were in the comic books, that her name, she is named that.
yeah.
That
So
helps
my
me
only
zero.
problem with that is now we have a fourth person with Captain Marvel powers. Okay, so now we already got 3.
But maybe we won't see her again.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think
Again,
it's
I
just
think the
maybe
Guardians
just
did
a
that.
name of the character because that character is part of the Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
in the comic.
Oh, okay.
And then it says Peter Quill will return, or Star Lord
It says
will
Star
ret-
Lord will return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you should have went with another character will return. I think Star Lord's done, right? Like Star Lord should be done.
Yeah, he has no reason to go back.
Again, he's
But I think
already
he will
been
be
through
on
Infinity War and Endgame. We have no reason to have to use him
Exactly.
for
True.
future movies.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get
Like,
that.
he-
But I mean, I like Chris Pratt, so it's like.
But he had his. I don't care. He had
He
his.
had his
ending.
trilogy and stuff, and it's just like with
So you don't want him in the Avengers movie?
We don't need him.
it's just like with Iron Man and Captain America, right? Like
Mhm.
they both had their trilogy. We
Mhm.
both had them in all the team up movies. Their character, the time with that character is done. Especially
Okay.
since Marvel's introducing so many new characters now.
Right.
We need to
And
start letting some of the old ones
He's
go.
not a character that could be the glue. You know how they were using Iron Man as the glue
Yeah,
through
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
He cannot be the glue through all of that. That end, you gave him a good ending, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
give him a happy.
Right.
ending.
He went back, found his family.
Yes.
Right.
So don't ruin it like you ruined Thor,
Yeah.
right? Because Thor had a pretty good ending at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
He
There's
did.
no reason for Star Lord to like. My thing is so something happens and he picks up. I don't know. He has no powers
No, he doesn't.
No,
or
he
a
doesn't.
special weapon.
No, he
Right.
doesn't.
So
Right.
what is he returning for?
Because he's a hero.
Is he though?
I don't know. I thought it was cool that Star Lord may be shown in something else.
We
No,
don't.
I
feel
was
like all
saying they
the
should have
other
gone with a
characters-
different character, like maybe Nebula will return. I
Why
don't
not-
think
why
we've got
didn't they
enough.
just say
of
the Guardians of the
Nebula.
Galaxy will return?
Because there's
Because-
no more Guardians of the Galaxy.
You just showed us a new team.
They're
But
not-
I don't think they're gonna do.
But my thing
that.
is, if what I'm saying is, even if you had that, it didn't have to be in a fourth movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy return. As long as they return in any other kind of movie,
right.
they
Yeah.
returned. To me, that would have made more sense than Star Lord will return,
Yeah.
unless
But
Star
obviously-
Lord becomes
but they
another
only
person.
put that at the end of the movies when they've already had
course.
something planned. So that means
Yeah.
he's in another movie. I don't know which one though.
The
Yeah.
Marvels or something.
No. God.
No, it's gonna be something that take place on Earth.
Yeah.
Because he's on Earth, and I feel like they put him on Earth for a reason.
But he's not important.
I
Well,
like him,
we'll
so
find- No,
I
you
was
said I like
Liking
him
him
too.
doesn't make him important.
Yeah, I mean, like I like him too.
I know, but I'm just like I thought it was cool.
We don't need it. We don't need it at all.
Okay, I thought it was cool, and I'm happy that he may be in another movie. But that's just me.
No.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
it's like I like him most out of all the characters. So for him to return and
Honestly,
they
I
didn't
like
mention
Rocket
anyone.
most out of
So it's
all
like
of
I
those.
didn't care.
But we don't need it.
No, honestly, yeah, I don't, the Guardians could be done. I would be happy. Like, I would be satisfied if the Guardians were done. Like, I'm not. If we get something new and it's good, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like this, I think this is a satisfactory,
Yeah.
and it works for the characters, and
Yeah.
I don't know that any of these characters need to return in another movie.
They don't. They don't. Like how we ended, no character needs to return in another
Nope.
movie. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that compared this movie to the Ant-Man movie, like I'm like how this movie was like funny in parts, and it's like I know Desiree didn't find anything funny.
It's fine. We won't
I
go
didn't-
off of what she says.
I did not feel like it was over the top. Like I really feel like Ant-Man was like over the top. Thor: Love and Thunder over the top. Like I felt like they were pushing like
Maybe they
the
made
one-liners.
those so that we can be satisfied with it.
Like I really like in those two movies, I felt like they were pushing the one-liners
Well,
in the stupid tropes.
What happens is with the Ant-Man and especially Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, people complained about this with Marvel a lot, but it was glaring in those two movies. The humor undercuts the feel of the movie.
Yes, and I feel like it didn't do it with this.
Yeah, they did like that when it was a serious scene. They allowed that scene to continue on, right? Like Rocket seemingly dying, it didn't have an immediate like joke in between it.
Right.
Yes,
Right? Like Peter's sad that he thinks Rocket's dead, and then like, you know, someone says something silly. Like
Right.
that didn't happen.
Agreed.
And you know what? That they really need to realize that. I don't mind. I like the humor in Marvel movies, but they sometimes overdo it. But like if you go back to No Way Home with Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that movie, we had a lot of scenes where it needed to be taken seriously, and you don't undercut it with a joke.
Yes.
And then, even though Guardians is a comedy movie, like there always have been, so it's going to be more jokes in it. I feel like they didn't undercut the more serious scenes with jokes.
Because I felt like the scenes with the High Evolutionary, those stay serious. The seriousness of Rocket's condition, that stays serious. You know, and
Rocket
then
dies, right? Like Gamora definitely dropped him.
That entire thing, I'm like, this man is in critical condition, and she drops him. She snatched him. I'm like, I guess she's trying to save him and running and stuff, but yeah, you.
I was thinking that time, I'm like, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's
he needs to be on the machines and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, and that was only keeping them alive for 48 hours.
Yeah. So yeah. No, he died.
All right. We've gone through a lot of nitpicks. Any more, Desiree?
Just a couple more. We went through most of them. So Rocket builds like a fake key card reader to get out of his cage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why was there also a reader on the inside of the cage?
I was thinking that. I was like, but wait, he slid it on the inside. How does that work?
Yeah. Like, why is there a reader on the inside of the cage?
Yes, there would be.
I did think that while I was watching the movie. This is fair nitpick.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after all of these years, the Higher Evolutionary never changes the lock.
It was the same cage.
The same cage, the
And
same
he cheap.
key card.
He cheap.
Okay.
He didn't think the key card would come back.
Fair enough. So that was my last one
Okay.
that we didn't already cover.
All right.
Okay.
Did we have any movie facts? It's a new movie, so
Only two. I think Adam Warlock was originally going to be in the second movie, but it's like they thought it was too many characters. I'm like, really? So you put him in the third one with too many characters?
this is true.
But I guess they had to use him because they teased him and didn't use him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you had to do that because people would have been up in arms, I guess.
It would have been good to have Adam Warlock as someone to fight like Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
So we can have someone that's on even footing against Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
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 And now he's a good guy, so now it doesn't even make sense for them to
They
fight each other.
all the time.
That's true. The next is Civil War, which will definitely happen.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, they fight each other all the time. And then my last movie fact was there's 8 years between this one and the second movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was the longest gap.
Yeah, because the second
For
movie
MCU
takes
movies.
place right after the first movie. So the second movie is like still
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah. So yeah. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yep, last one. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're rating then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. So
We should go with Desiree first.
are we gonna go with that?
We go with
Okay,
Desiree
let's get it
first.
over with. Let her go ahead and say it was pure torture.
I wasn't gonna say pure torture.
Okay.
I mean, I was bored.
Okay.
I did not have fun watching this, but I was gonna give it a watch by folding clothes
Watch while voting.
because it's not a bad movie. I just did not enjoy it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Glad you can articulate it like that.
Mhm.
I started off in the beginning of the movie like it was this kind of a watch while folding clothes. As the movie continued on the story, I'm giving this I would pay with that. This is the first Marvel movie in a while that I actually left in theater thinking like I enjoyed that, and even the following day. And that's really where I go off with my ratings is how did I feel about it when I woke up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed watching the movie.
Yeah.
I will watch again.
I will say
I would not.
for me, it is also I will pay for that. To me, I feel like it's the best movie since Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Probably out of all the movies that
Out
have
of
come
all the
out since
movies.
then. But Doctor Strange, Thor, and
What about Black Panther?
oh yeah,
Ooh.
since Black Panther. Sorry,
Okay, I say since Black
I
Panther.
forgot about Black Panther.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not better than Black Panther. No.
No.
It is not. No.
No. But I can watch this movie again. So like how I do Captain America, like I watch all three,
Mm-hmm.
and how I do the Avengers, like I can watch all of those. I can watch all three of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like
You don't
out of
like
the
fir-
trilogy.
Okay, you can't see this, but Desiree's like shaking her head.
Yeah.
We know. We
Yeah.
know you wouldn't watch
But
the first
see,
one.
but this the thing is, I can't do that with the Iron Man trilogy.
I will, like, if I'm doing a Marvel binge, which I do every once in a while. I haven't done one in a while. Maybe I should.
I haven't
do it.
done one.
But I
in a
can
while
watch the
either.
first Iron Man.
I
can watch the,
the first
Iron
one.
Man.
Yes.
Yes.
I could do all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. But
But what about the second and the third one?
I'll watch that before I watch any of the Guardians.
In rewatching them, I say Iron Man 3 is better than Iron Man 2.
Yes.
I think it as a movie, it's better
Iron
than
Man 3 is
2.
better than Iron Man.
Iron Man 2 is kind of
I
weak
agree.
sauce, to be honest.
Honestly, Iron Man 2 is not really needed.
No, all he does is create the element in there.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
but
most
they
important
did it
thing.
to introduce Black Widow.
Also, his character,
True.
yeah, his character backslides a bit in there,
True.
like growth wise in Iron Man 2, which I guess happens.
I mean, coming from the first one though,
yeah, okay,
it's not really a backslide, really.
yeah, okay.
Mm. But yeah, out of the trilogies, Captain America,
Yeah, I can watch all of the Captain Americas.
the
Yes.
Avengers,
Yes.
and then Guardians
well, that's
of the Galaxy.
quadrology. Is that what that's called?
Quadrology.
I don't know what it's called.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, that's how you're ranking it.
Yes, in the trilogies.
All right, I'm gonna have to think about that.
See, with me, Thor
Is the Guardians?
backslides
It's
too much.
well, no, yeah, you got two bad Thor movies, so I'm gonna say no on Thor.
Yeah.
Um,
And I feel the same thing with Iron Man.
is
like
the Guardians
Iron Man
trilogy
1.
better than the Spider-Man trilogy?
Oh, I forgot about Spider-Man. No, it is not.
I don't think so. Even
No,
though
I
the
got
second
Spider-Man
one is the weakest. out
Second
of
one is the
three.
weakest, but it's still good to me. So I would say
The second one was good.
It's good. It's the weakest out of the three, though. With Homecoming, No Way Home, and Far From Home, I would say Far From Home's the weakest.
I don't
With
know if I-
Mysterio?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that.
No, I don't see.
You
I
think
mean,
it's better than Homecoming?
I mean, I would put them on the
Yes.
same level to me.
I have it slightly above Homecoming, just because that third act and the stakes.
The third act is good in the second one.
It is good in the second one.
Yeah.
Also, I mean,
But
I think Mysterio was done really well.
It was.
Yeah.
But you're right. I forgot about Spider-Man. So I would have Captain America, Avengers, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm gonna have to look at all the trilogies before I come up with a ranking like that.
The Thor.
It feels like
Thor,
Guardians is
I'm
too high on
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry. Thor. No.
But I guess what trilogy is that? The only trilogies we have?
Yeah, Iron Man and Thor would be the next two that I didn't mention.
The other movies,
And I mean, for me, literally, Iron Man, the
Well,
first one, I can rewatch
you
over
have
and
the
over.
Ant-Man has a trilogy.
Oh
Now.
no,
Nope,
that's at the bottom.
nope. The third one killed it for me.
Well, the second one wasn't.
The
good
second
either.
one, yeah, the second one, while watchable, wasn't like
The second one wasn't
the
good.
best
Yeah.
movie. Also, does nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie that
See,
literally does
there you
nothing.
go.
Like it does
And I'm
nothing
telling
for
you,
the.
and
There's
I'm
no
telling you.
character growth in that movie. Like
No.
it literally does
No,
nothing.
It's just a movie that exists.
Yeah. Because honestly, Ant-Man don't need to show up in anything else. Honestly.
He
No,
doesn't.
which is why they should have trapped him or killed him.
Yeah, we said that.
Yeah.
It would have been better.
Again, Marvel, you know, you can kill people. We're
You
okay.
can honestly, like some of the older characters, you already have their replacements set up, right?
Yeah.
You can go ahead and kill them.
Might as well. I mean, like, because we already assuming it's the end. And since you
Yeah.
started off killing Iron Man, we're kind of just like, oh, okay, they killed Ant-Man.
Mhm.
All right? Or they let Rocket go.
Yeah, they need a writer in here. People won't be upset. That's just gonna like just start
I mean, but sometimes
knocking off
just
characters.
make it
Make
work.
it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it can't be like the setup death of Star-Lord in this movie, which again I would have been very
Well,
upset
my thing
about.
is,
Yeah.
this is the third time you guys have done this.
Yeah.
Just like, we know you're not going to kill him. So, like, stop.
Yeah.
Before we end, how James Gunn did this movie, do you feel kind of okay with how he would do DC?
No. To me, I don't see anything special about these movies that's making people say, oh, DC's in good
I
hands.
just feel like
I think
it's
he's
good
good with
writing.
characters.
I was gonna say I feel like he's good with writing and the building up of the characters.
More so than like we mentioned Thor and Ant-Man. I think this movie had a more of a focus on character, which is what we like about
Well,
Marvel in the first place.
To me,
I feel like
Guardians
with
of the-
James Gunn, we would not have that Batman v Superman.
I mean, you're probably
movie.
right. And, like, okay, maybe I will give you, to me, the Guardians of the Galaxy has never had a character problem.
Mhm.
I just don't find their movies interesting. I think their jokes are stale and overdone.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they have a character problem. Outside of Drax, who I can't stand.
Fair enough, to be honest.
I feel like everyone is likable in their own way. They're all different. They all have their different motivations.
That's what gives me
So,
confidence.
If that
Yeah.
is what he does, then sure.
Well, who knows? It's a writer's
But
strike
then,
now,
I mean, we're talking about, it's one thing to say for characters that I don't know. But then for, say, characters that I do know, like Batman and Superman.
yeah. So it's still a toss-up of how we are
Yeah.
going to get those
But-
characters. I would have to see. I wouldn't judge it based off of this movie. I would have to see the first James Gunn DC movie
Right.
to see how that's going to
Because
end
it's
up.
completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted y'all thoughts on that.
Yeah, I still don't know. I feel like he's a better option than what we've had for DC. I still don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, he said all of the right things, but
I mean, it still has to happen.
Yeah.
And it might be a delay. In
James Gunn's humor is kind of what worries me about DC because one, DC tends to be a bit darker. Marvel likes to be on the lighter side, and I don't always like
But the
vibe
problem
with
we
James
were running,
Gunn's humor.
yeah. But the problem that we were running with DC was everything was dark.
Well, it has to fit the character, right? Batman is dark, Superman is not.
Right.
Yeah,
So
So
we had a dark Superman. and
but we know
Wonder
James Gunn can do lighter because he's done the Guardians of the Galaxy.
right,
So.
right. So I'm saying is whatever you do, it has to fit the character.
Yes.
And I think DC for the longest have not been doing that.
Not with any of their characters. I don't know. Blue Beetle, I was like, okay, I can watch that. I don't know how good it's going to be.
I don't know
Right.
much about Blue Beetle. I mean, what I do know is only from what I've seen in like Young Justice or like
Yeah.
The Brave and the Bold or whatever.
Mhm.
So I mean, his character seems like someone I would really like if I knew more about him. But I mean, I can't,
It's like a mechanical Green Lantern to me, it seems like.
Yeah, except for the thing is like he can't get rid of it, right?
Yeah,
or
right,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully the writer's strike doesn't last too long because then that's going to push back all those DC movies and stuff
Yeah.
because they were not finished.
Nope.
So,
No, they were in the writing stages.
yeah. That would be rough.
Yeah.
But coming soon to you are, what movie did we say? 13 Dead and Drive? Yeah. 3 rivals writing 13 Dead and Drive.
Yeah. A 3D rival production.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, But with that being said, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? If you did, what did you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And why is Desiree wrong for not liking any of these movies? Of course, you can attack her in the comments. And of course, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, and we will catch you in the next show.